Photography is one of those art forms that never really ends, and the more you get into it and the more you learn about it, the more you realize how much you don't actually know and how much more there is to learn. And I think there's kind of 4 main stages that we go through as photographers. Starting off in the beginning when we're complete noobs, we pick up our first camera and we're just stoked to shoot everything, all the way to the point where we're more established photographers, we're getting more recognition from our work, and we're actually proud of the work that we're creating. So today in this video, I want to break down what these 4 stages are and help you guys figure out which stage you're in, and also give you tips for how to get better at that specific stage. And also, I'm giving away a free gear guide. There's a link down in the description, and I hope you guys enjoy. And starting off at the top is the fresh noob. This is the photographer that just started. They're a complete beginner and they are fully stoked on taking photos, but they really don't know much of what they're doing. Maybe you don't even have a camera yet. If you're at this stage, you just have an iPhone or an Android phone, or maybe you do have a camera. It's just a little bit of an older DSLR or just a beginner DSLR, and you only have a kit lens at this point. But none of that stuff really matters to you. You just want to shoot super sick photos, and you're going out and you're shooting all the time. You're taking close-up photos of flowers, you're shooting portraits of your friends, and you're just engaging with the photography process, and you're absolutely loving it. Now at this stage, you know you still have a lot to learn as well, but you're pretty proud of your images, and this is a good time to bring up the Dunning-Kruger effect, where the better we get at a skill, the worse we think we are. And in the beginning, when we don't know all that much about photography, we're gonna think our work is pretty sick, especially once we get, our first prime lens, that 50mm f1.8, and we start shooting everything at f1.8, and it looks really cool and it looks really interesting. We probably think our photos are a lot sicker than they actually are, but we all start here, and the better you get, the more you're gonna start to criticize your work, and that can be both a good thing and a bad thing, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on in this video. But you're absolutely loving photography. You want to go out and shoot all the time. And honestly, this stage is probably the most fun stage because there's so much to learn. It's a completely new art form. It's exciting and you're obsessed with it. And I have very fond memories of me going out and taking photos of super random stuff because I wanted to capture just cool images. I didn't care what I was shooting. I just wanted to shoot. It didn't matter. I wanted to create something beautiful. And that feeling is super addicting, and you should definitely take advantage of it at this stage. Now, if you are at this stage and you want to get better, the best thing that you can do is to just keep shooting. Expose yourself to photography as much as you possibly can. Go out and shoot absolutely everything. Shoot portraits, shoot landscapes, street photography, still life. This is the point where you're going to build that really solid foundation with photography, and you're training your vision and you're learning how to use your camera. And the more that you engage with photography and you consume good work and you also create as much work as you possibly can, the better you're going to get. You should also be focusing on the foundations of photography here. You should learn how to become technically fluent with your camera, because once you can do that, your camera will stop being a barrier between you and your creative vision, and instead it'll become a tool that you can use to capture your creative vision. And if you are having a hard time nailing down the fundamentals of photography, I highly recommend checking out my photography essentials class. I'll put a link down in the description, and that course will give you a super solid foundation on the basics of photography, and you can use that knowledge to go out and shoot and create better photos. But this first stage actually doesn't last all that long, and you'll quickly find yourself in stage 2, which is the passionate hobbyist. Now at this stage, you're definitely still obsessed with photography, and that obsession is still fueling you to go out and shoot. And at this point, you've got yourself a pretty decent kit. You have a nice camera body, maybe a few lenses. You've invested a little bit of money into this hobby, and you're getting a little bit more serious about it. You're also becoming much more technically fluent with your camera. You have a general idea of how to use your camera. You kind of know how manual mode works, or maybe at this point you're even fluent in manual mode, and people are starting to recognize your work. You're starting to get some really nice comments from family and friends, or you're posting your photos online and you're getting some positive feedback there. Now you're also getting better at editing, and you've taken some time to learn how Lightroom works, and you kind of have a general idea of how to use it. But at this point, you're still not super happy with your edits because you feel like you can't get the right colors, or things just aren't looking exactly how you want them to. And also, one of the things that I find with a lot of photographers in this stage is they're probably over editing their photos a little bit too much. They're going for a stylized look that's a little bit too stylized and a little bit too far removed from reality. And that's something I think happens to most of us as photographers, is we want to create this super cool stylized look in Lightroom, but we take it a little bit too far. And I think the passionate hobbyist is definitely guilty of this. is. But at this point, you're also starting to get a clearer idea of what you want to shoot. Maybe you're just fully obsessed with street photography, or you're really into landscape photography or portraits. And this is where we're starting to kind of hone in our style a little bit. Yes, you still have so much to learn, but you're starting to slowly work through it and figure out what you want to shoot and the kind of style that you want to pursue. And you might have even gotten paid for a few shoots at this point. Maybe you did some graduation photos or you shot some portraits of your friend. At this point, you are probably good enough to get paid for your work. Now, this is also a really fun and crucial stage for us as photographers, but it's also where imposter syndrome starts to creep in a little bit, because as you're getting better, you're starting to reflect more negatively on your work, and you start comparing yourself with all of these other photographers, and you're realizing that your work isn't as good as you initially thought it was. But this is totally normal, and it's something that so many of us deal with as we grow as artists. And I think it's important to just keep this in the back of your mind. And if you do start reflecting negatively upon your work, I think it's really important to approach this with a constructive lens instead of a negative lens. So looking at it like, hey, there's still so much for me to learn. Yes, my photos aren't the best, but that's just because I haven't gotten to where I know I will be in the future. Now, to get better at this stage, one of the best things that you can do is to start collaborating or start shooting with other photographers. Shooting with other photographers gives us insight into someone else's creative process, and there is so much to learn there, especially if you're shooting with a photographer who might be a little bit more skilled than you, and also if they're shooting the same type of thing that you want to shoot. So if you have another photographer who's really into street photography and that's what you're into, one of the best things you can do is to go out and shoot in the street with that photographer and just ask them questions and look at how they're shooting and take some insight from that. Honestly, so much of what I have personally learned as a photographer came through going out and just shooting with other photographers, especially photographers who inspired me at some point in my career. It's also a lot more fun to create something with other people, and that's why I think collaborating is so important at this stage. Now, at this stage, you're probably starting to dabble a little bit into video as well, and if you want to get better at video, you should definitely check out the sponsor of today's video, Motion Array, because Motion Array has pretty much everything that you need to create great videos for the internet. They have royalty-free music, stock photos and videos, title screens, transitions, sound effects, LUTs, motion graphics templates, the list goes on. There are literally over 2 million assets that you can download from Motion Array, and you can download as many as you want for an affordable monthly subscription with no extra fees. Now, I use Motion Array for pretty much everything when it comes to my videos, but one of the things that I've been loving so much recently are their LUTs, because they have a ton of different LUTs that you can choose from, and all of these LUTs were created by expert colorists. Now, recently, I've been loving these Summer Vibe LUTs by Motioneum. I've been using them to edit some footage that I've shot recently, and I have an upcoming trip to California in about a week. It's going to be summer in California, and this LUT pack is going to be perfect for the footage that I'm going to shoot out there. And even if these LUTs aren't your vibe, there's so many others to choose from, and you can even filter by the style that you want. And then once you find the one you like, you can download it, apply it to your footage, and you're pretty much good to go. They're super easy to use. Now, Motion Array also recently added 50 new plugins that integrate directly into your video editing software. All you have to do is download and install the plugin into any of the major video editing softwares, and you'll have a ton of awesome creative effects built directly into your video editing software, which is super handy. Now, if you guys want to check out Motion Array, click the first link in the description, and if you use that link to sign up, you'll get 2 extra months free when you sign up for an annual plan. Once again, there's a link down in the description. So thank you, Motion Array, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Now, stage 3 is the cook, because by this point you are absolutely cooking. You've been shooting photos for a few years now, and you might even be a full-time pro at this point in time. You also might not be. You don't need to be a pro to be an epic photographer, but if you are at this stage, you definitely are good enough to get paid for your work. And speaking of your work, it's sick and it's getting the recognition that it deserves. Maybe you've gotten published in a magazine or you're on a website somewhere. People are recognizing that your work is really good and you know what you're doing as a photographer. Now, at this stage, you also have all the gear that you need to capture your creative vision. And it might not even be that much gear, to be honest, because once you grow as a photographer, you start to realize that you don't need all these different lenses and gear to capture something sick, because at this point, you've kind of identified the lenses and the focal lengths that you vibe with most, and you just keep your kit small because you know what you need to shoot with. Now, you're also fully technically fluent with your camera by this point. You don't even need to think about your camera settings while you're going out and shooting, because your camera is an extension of your body by this point. So you're not thinking about and fiddling with your camera settings. You just instantly know what's going to work, and you're also not too fussed about it, because by this point you're starting to realize that having the perfect camera settings is not the most important thing for an image, and you're more focused on the intricacies of the scene in front of you. Now at this point, you're probably a good editor as well, and you've started to gravitate back towards a more natural color palette. Whereas the passionate hobbyist and the beginner, they might be playing around with colors and trying to be super creative. You're starting to realize that more natural colors look good, and you can still have a super stylized and creative image while still maintaining natural colors. Now you also probably have your own unique photography style at this point, or at least you're getting pretty close to it. You have a very good idea of the direction that you want to go in, and if you don't have your style yet, you're just kind of working out a few more kinks to really nail it in. But this is also the stage where you start to get really hard on yourself. Imposter syndrome really starts to take hold in stage 3, and you start to reflect very negatively on your work because you don't benefit from the beginning of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you think your work is really good because you don't really know that much about what's ahead of you. But now that you're a little bit more skilled, you're an advanced photographer, and you realize that there's still so much more to learn, and you've also been exposed to all of this really epic work, you start to look at your work and think, what the hell am I doing? This is not good. And this is happening because imposter syndrome is brutal and it will take hold of you no matter who you are. So it's really important to remain cognizant, especially at this stage, and surround yourself with other photographers who are going to tell you that your work is good and you shouldn't stop creating. So if you are at this stage and you feel like you're in a little bit of a creative lull, this is completely normal, but you should also remember that your work is probably better than it ever has been at this point in time, and you're only going to get better from here as well. And speaking of getting better, one of the best things that you can do to get better at this stage is to just stop chasing perfection and chase purpose instead. Go out and try to tell meaningful stories with your work. Work on passion projects. Do something that you're actually interested in doing, not because you feel like you have to do it. The better you get at photography, or any skill for that matter, there's going to come a point where you start to question why you're doing it. And this is where you need to fall back on those creative projects that initially got you drawn to photography in the first place, and go chase those things and get after it. But if you guys have ever felt this creative lull, let me know in the comments down below. I think it's a lot more common in the creative industry than a lot of us think it is. So drop a comment down below and let's chat about it. Okay, last but certainly not least is stage 4, which is the master. And honestly, I think we can do a little bit better than the master. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think this last stage of a photographer should be. But anyways, by this point, you have mastered your craft, and not just technically, but perhaps more importantly, creatively. And by this point, you realize that the most important thing in a photograph is not your camera settings, it's the creative side of photography. It's the lighting, the color, the composition, the texture, and how all these things come together to create a powerful image. And you also have a super detailed understanding of all of these creative elements as well. You have a really deep understanding of light. You have a really solid grasp of color and the color palette that you like to use in your work. And you've also identified the types of compositions that you like to shoot the most. And because you have such a deep understanding in the creative elements of photography, you're insanely dynamic and versatile as a photographer, and you can step into any scene and create something beautiful because you know how to rely back onto your creativity and find something, even if it looks like the scene might suck, even if the lighting is terrible, or it might seem like there's no interesting subject matter. If you make it to this level as a photographer, you can create something beautiful no matter where you are. Now, you also recognize that imposter syndrome is just a part of the game, but you've learned how to overcome it by this point, and you can recognize those thoughts, and you realize that they're nonsense, and you're not gonna let them hold you back. You're confident, but you're humble, and you realize that you don't know it all because you can't know it all, and you can't get to this stage of a photographer if you think you know it all, because there's always going to be something more that you can learn. And the photographer in this stage is still experimenting, they're still learning, they're still trying new things, and they're trying to break new ground creatively. Photographers in this stage understand that mastery is not a finish line, it's a cycle, it's a never-ending process, and there's always something new that you can discover, and you can only really make it to this stage if you recognize and embody that. Now, to get better at this stage, I think one of the best things we can do is to mentor a beginner. Working with someone who sees the world with fresh eyes and they don't have all of these biases built into their vision like you do as a photographer is a really interesting way to see the world in a different way. And it almost puts you back into that first stage as well, where you're super excited about creating again. If you can reignite that stage 1 energy and pair it with all the skills that you've learned over the years, that is a deadly combo, and you are destined to create something super sick if you can do that. But that is kind of my understanding on the 4 stages of being a photographer. And I'm sure that there's a million other ways that you can look at this. Maybe you think there's 5 stages or 10 stages, but this is just how I understand it. And I want to know what you guys think. What stage are you in on this process? Are you a completely fresh noob and you're just starting out? Or maybe you're a passionate passionate hobbyist and you've been shooting for a little bit, or maybe you're a little bit more skilled than that and you're on stages 3 or 4, let me know in the comments down below, because I think this is a super interesting exercise. But I hope you guys found this video interesting or useful to some degree, and I appreciate you making it to the end. I can't wait to chat with you down in the comments, and thank you Motion Array once again for sponsoring this video, and I'll chat with you guys again very soon in the next one.